everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. It's me, Gina, and in case this is the first time you're stopping by, I am a wife and mother from the Midwest, and I like to cook dinner for my family every day so they can eat. And I like to post the videos here on YouTube. So they're actually not home right now, so I'm going to try to make this video on like the fly. We are going to be making my ratatouille recipe, and it is a baked ratatouille. It is a layered ratatouille. It is a presentation A+, so it's great to bring with you to like family get-togethers or potlucks because it's really impressive looking. It's healthy and it's easy. So without further ado, let's jump into these ingredients before they get home. We are going to be using I would say this is a medium-sized zucchini, one medium-sized yellow squash. This is a small, I don't know if this is a Japanese eggplant or what, but this is a small eggplant, a baby eggplant. You don't want like the big fat ones because you want the circles all to kind of be uniform. So get this skinny eggplant. We're going to be using 4 Roma tomatoes, again, like the same size because we want all the circles to look uniform. We're going to be using an onion. You could use a yellow onion, you could use a red onion, you could use a white onion. Do with what you have, like use whatever. We are going to be using some fresh garlic, and then to season it up, we're going to be using some salt and pepper, and then crushed red pepper. To garnish it, we are going to be using some fresh basil and some fresh Parmesan cheese. And then also for the tomatoes, we're going to be making I don't know what you call it. We're going to cook the tomatoes with some tomato paste and some garlic to give it some flavor. So we need some tomato paste. And then for special equipment today, I'm going to be using a mandolin. But you could use your knife and just try to slice them as uniform as possible. It's no big deal if you don't have this. So don't worry and let that, steer you away from this recipe. And then I'm using this, I don't even know what you'd call this. Casserole dish. I don't know. It's metal. I got this for my wedding from my Auntie Gail, and it's actually been really useful. So I would say, like, if you don't have this, you could do like a 9x13 casserole dish. But I'm going to go ahead and layer it in here, and this goes from oven to table very easily. So in any case, let me go ahead and get set up for our time lapse so you can see how I use the mandolin, and I will be right back. Okay, so we have our vegetables all washed and dried. I've been using this spray that I got at the grocery store to wash my veggies, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's called Fit, F-I-T. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and use the mandolin on the thin slices setting, and go ahead and run the zucchini down it. Do the same thing with our yellow squash. And you will notice that I am being pretty ballsy, and I'm not using the hand piece that is supposed to go on the vegetable side of the mandolin. And that's just for more control. And also I don't, if you notice, slice like the end all the way down. Like I kind of leave like a chunk because I don't want to get my fingers close to it. So I am not by any means recommending that you do that. Use the protective slicing end thing. Anyways, so I went ahead and I did our eggplant, and then here we have our Roma tomatoes. These I was super cautious about because I didn't want to slice my finger off, so I go about 2/3 of the way down on each tomato, and then you'll see that I just finished it off with my knife, so I don't waste those end chunks because fingers are important, people. We would like to keep them. Go ahead and set all of your sliced veggies to the side. And this is a little tidbit of information on slicing onions when they are going to be in a sauce or in a stew. So you go ahead and you slice it the ends off and then slice it in half. And instead of running the knife down it sideways to make half moons, run it vertically to make slivers. And they are not as stringy. So that is something I really liked when I learned that a while ago. And next, we're just going to break down our garlic. I think this is 4 cloves of garlic. Just get a nice mince on them. Of course, after peeling them. Wish it didn't take so long to peel and mince garlic, but I hate that pre-jarred garlic. It has a bizarre acidic taste, and I'm assuming it's whatever is the preservative in there. So I always use fresh garlic unless it's in the crock pot. I hate fresh garlic in the crock pot. And then divide your garlic pile into two because we're going to use it in 2 different steps of the recipe. And last, we are just going to do a quick chiffonade of our fresh basil. So go ahead and pull off the leaves and put them in the same, facing the same way, and then roll them up into like a basil joint. And then just run your knife along it lengthwise to make nice little fine shreds. We're done with our prep. All right, folks, as usual, I forgot to mention that we are going to be using olive oil today, or you could use avocado oil or whatever you have. Just make sure it's a good quality oil. I always forget to say the oil is an ingredient. So I've got, this just happens to be one of my new porcelain enamel nonstick pans, but whatever, use whatever pan you want. I've got it on a medium heat, and then it's nice and hot already. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add a couple of splashes of olive oil to the pan. And it's so important to make sure your pan is hot before you add your olive oil. A lot of people don't know that and skip this step. So there we go. Our oil is getting nice and hot. Here's our bunch of our beautiful ingredients chilling over here. We got our onions. I'm just gonna wait one more second. You can tell the oil is hot. I don't know if you guys can see it. When it starts to shimmer in the pan, it's doing it. I don't think you can see it in the camera. But anyway, so now I'm gonna dump our onions in. Notice that they started to cook right away because our oil was hot. Got a spoon. And I'm going to go ahead and add our garlic to the pot for a second. And my husband, as usual, is calling while I'm filming. So give me 1 second. Alright, anyways, so I added, I don't know if I said it in my time lapse because I didn't do the video audio yet, but the garlic, I split it into 2 piles, and that's because half of the garlic is going to be going on top of the veggies after they're arranged, and half goes into the pot with the onions. So I'm just going to go ahead and let these simmer away until they start to soften, and then when they do, we'll go ahead and plop some tomato paste in there, and then we'll get building our ratatouille. The onions have started to brown. Let's see if we can focus. If you prefer, you can go a little bit darker than this. Sometimes I like to actually chop the onions up prior to doing all of the prep on the other veggies and let them actually go low and slow while I'm prepping and slicing all the zucchini and everything. But for YouTube's sake, I had to do it all at once. Now we're going to add a whack of tomato sauce. And yeah, I'm saying a whack again, people. This is my measurement. And a whack is like whatever fits on my spoon. I'd say this is probably 2 tablespoons maybe. And we're just going to go ahead and melt this in. Always want to cook your tomato paste because it needs to get woken up once it's been sitting in that jar. So like whenever you have to add, man, this is really splattering. I'm getting burned. And now my camera's dirty. Better? Better. I don't know, I lost my train of thought. Oh, whenever you have to add tomato paste to a recipe, excuse me, I totally forgot. Add it after you sauteed your first round of veg, before you add any liquids in there to like bring it back to life. So that's what I was saying. All right, this looks pretty good. We just want to make sure everything is well incorporated. I'm going to turn the heat off on this. I totally neglected to mention that we are running a 400-degree oven. I have a convection oven, so it's on convection bake. And then I put a little drizzle of olive oil in the bottom of the pan that I'm using. And I'm going to try not to burn myself. Okay, pretty good. Spread this out in the bottom of the pan evenly. And I just realized I forgot to add the crushed red pepper flakes. So, if you're making this at your house, you are going to add the crushed red pepper to the pan with the onion and the garlic and saute it for a little bit. But I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle it on top of this, and I don't think it's really going to make that much of a difference. So, I'm going to go ahead and get this fully spread out inside the pan, and then I'm going to get set up from a vertical view and let you see how I build the layers of the veggies. So, hold up. I am not going to narrate this whole thing, but I do want to mention, obviously you put your onions and tomato paste blend in the bottom of the pan, which has been layered with olive oil, and then the pattern that I did was zucchini, yellow squash, tomato, and eggplant, and I continued that all the way around, but you can put it in whatever pattern you feel spicy with, so you just take that artistic freedom and go with it, people. Okay, at this point in the video I had finished my vegetable spiral. I went ahead and sprinkled the top of our ratatouille with salt and pepper and sprinkled the remaining garlic on top. And then you want to go ahead and just give it a light drizzle of olive oil and then cover it nice and tight with some heavy duty foil and bake it at 400 for 40 minutes. Okay, this is what it looks like when it came out of the oven. This probably actually could have gone for like another 5 minutes just to get these a little bit more tender, but this will be fine because we are going to run it under the broiler. So, I'm going to open this cheese with one hand somehow. And I am using fresh grated Parmesan cheese from Pete's Fresh Market. But you could use anything you want. You could use like a 3-cheese mix. You could use like Asiago. And I'm going to put a decent amount of cheese on here because we are some cheese-liking people. I would say we're cheese-loving people. We love cheese. Okay, let's go ahead and get this back in the oven. I do have the broiler set to high. And I'm going to rotate mine like this because the heating element goes that way. And then, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes and I will be back. Alright, boys and girls, so this is our final product. I'm sorry, I was just impressed with myself. Like, this looks so pretty. I don't know if it always translates as well on the camera as it looks in person, but this is really, really beautiful. The cheese is nicely melted. I could have left it a little bit longer and let it get more brown, but I didn't put that much cheese on there. And then last thing we're going to do is we're going to add the chiffonade of fresh basil on the top for that little extra bit of ba-ba-boom. And that's it. We're gonna go ahead and get this plated up and see what everybody thinks. We are going to have to tie this up very quickly because we have two very unhappy people. So they do not like my dinner, but it looks delicious. We are having it with some lemon pepper salmon. And then this is just some white rice that I cooked Mexican style. And if you're interested in how I make my Mexican style white rice, drop a comment and I will be more than happy to make a video for that. So we can't get a taste test from Daniel today, so I will go ahead and do the taste test. You know what? No, we won't. It just, Fifi just can't get a grip today. So anyways, thanks for watching my video. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Alright, we came back for a taste test. Fifi went to her room. So Daniel, how is the ratatouille?
Really good. I love it. Oh, the ratatouille?
Yeah.
Really good.
Forgot about that.
Didn't make it. Yeah.
Really good. Now I gotta go address the poor Fifi. Alright. Anyways, thanks for stopping by my channel. Sorry that was a little bit of a hot mess towards the end. If you liked this video, I'd appreciate if you could give it a thumbs up. And if you could subscribe. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw a couple of links here to some of my other videos you might enjoy. So anyways, thanks and have a great day.